today we're going to be doing a mystery. We will be discussing the now 33-year-old mystery of the body in Boiler Stack 9. The body was discovered at the Bellingham, Georgia Pacific Pulp Mill. The primarily skeletonized remains were discovered on September 20th, 1987. Any clothing had burned away, and any DNA was destroyed by the high temperatures. The boiler was fired intermittently in the months before the skeleton's discovery, including for 34 hours over September 17th and 18th, a few days before the skeleton was found. Police estimated the victim had been inside the boiler stack for several days to several weeks. Officers could not find a comparable situation to provide a firm benchmark for determining how long the victim had been exposed to the high temperatures. In addition to the opening at the top of the stack, the interior could be accessed through a steel hatch just above where the body landed. Police concluded that the victim entered from the top because the nuts on the hatch bolts were rusty. It took police nearly 2 hours to open the hatch. Jeez. And the hatch could not be secured from the inside. Reaching the top entry to the stack wasn't easy. To a layperson, the stack didn't resemble a chimney. Instead of a tall cylinder, it was just a squat steel box nestled close to a brick wall and support structures. To reach the stack, a person had to climb 3 flights of metal stairs or ride a vertical conveyor belt inside the steam plant to reach the roof from there. There were several routes to the top of the stack. A person could use a ladder from a catwalk by the base of the stack or scramble up using pipes and other handholds. Generally, 4 to 6 employees worked in the steam plant at a time. It was often noisy, and the employees sometimes worked inside enclosed offices. It would have been easy for someone to get in there and climb on the roof, recalled Howard McDowell, GP's tissue mill manager, when the skeleton was discovered. Security at the mill was beefed up in advance of the first Earth Day in 1970. But unauthorized people could still gain access to the property without much problem. That doesn't surprise me. There was no secure fencing along railroad tracks into the mill, and while guards patrolled the property around the clock, security cameras weren't that common in the 80s. Yeah, as a child of the 80s, I would say they were not that common. According to the autopsy and the police, the victim was likely a man of slight stature, between 25 and 35 years old. He was 5'8" to 5'9", and weighed 130 to 155 pounds. He had a decent dental work, with evidence of a root canal with gold and porcelain fillings. He had numerous fractures, including both thigh bones. Oh, jeez. Just hearing that hurts. Several lower leg bones and 2 bones in his right arm that could have resulted from a fall, heat stress, or maybe an assault. The victim wore a lightweight shirt, jeans, a denim-like jacket, and about size 8 sneakers, not hard-toe shoes that workers would often wear. It appeared the victim tried to remove his pants. The jacket was found underneath the body, and the shirt was wrapped around a leg, all perhaps to buffer the heat and bind injuries. The victim had put his socks on his hands, and marks on the inside of the wall suggest he tried to climb to freedom. That's pretty dark. Sorry. The body's charred conditions made it impossible to test for drugs or alcohol. The use of DNA testing was not common practice in the 1980s, and the stack's heat prevented DNA analysis later. Temperatures inside the stack could reach 370 degrees, the range at which DNA degrades. Sorry, I need a drink. Police did find a charred, partially readable piece of perforated Continental Airline tickets or baggage claim. The ticket had 6 numbers, not enough to identify the buyer, ticket seller, or itinerary, sadly. In 2006, a news story I cannot talk this evening. In 2006, a news story raised the question of whether the victim might have been female. Richard Severson, a steam engineer at Western Washington University, told the Bellingham Herald that he had given a woman the tour of the Western steam plant in the late summer of 1987. He described the white woman as wiry, in her mid-30s to mid-40s, perhaps 5'4" to 5'6", light to medium brown short hair, wearing a lined windbreaker, woven blouse, jeans, and tennis shoes. During the tour, they came to a small boiler that was operating, and the woman asked if she could go inside. When Severson guided her to an inactive boiler, she climbed inside, sat on some pipes, then exited and re-entered several more times. Severson asked the strange-acting woman to leave and mentioned that GP had boilers, assuming the mill was protected from intruders. A few weeks later, he read news reports about the discovery of the skeleton. Was the person found inside the stack? Pelvis measurements are standard as a way to distinguish male from female skeletons. Although there is some margin for error, police remained confident that the victim was a male, with Gibb noting that no female reproductive organs were found among the carbonized remains. The initial effort to identify the GP skeleton focused on the mill and its workforce. Coordinating with Georgia Pacific, police quickly decided the victim was not a mill employee or contract worker. None were missing, no paychecks were unclaimed, and no vehicles were found abandoned. A few months after the skeleton was found, police released a forensic sketch of what the victim may have looked like. The drawing by the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation portrayed a shaggy-haired man with a long face and sunken cheeks. The drawing and autopsy results were sent to law agencies in numerous states, but no match with a missing person was found. Bellingham police worked the case until '93 and then set it aside. All along, police pondered explanations for why a person would end up inside the stack. There are 4 reasons. A protest. They believed that environmental groups could have sent someone in to protest and this person became a victim. Suicide, which remains a possibility, but this would be a really gruesome way to go. I mean, seriously gruesome. Could be the victim of a crime. This sounds like one of the more plausible reasons. Or crime or a prank gone bad, I think, would be the 2 reasons. And the woman that was mentioned doing the tour, hey Luna, I think it's really strange that she wanted to go inside a boiler. Maybe not so she could end her own life, but maybe so she could end someone else's. Because there's plant in the middle of nowhere, not well secured. Nobody's gonna find a body in there. Like, I don't know. My money's on somebody wanted to end somebody's life. And that is how they did it. In August 2004, they closed their case again and decided that they had exhausted all means to solve this case. The skeletal remains were cremated or buried. But this case remains a tragic unsolved mystery. So what are your opinions? Do you think somebody climbed in there and got stuck? Do you think somebody committed suicide? I really don't think it was suicide. Do you think somebody could have hid a body in there that they had killed elsewhere? Do you think some college-age guys were doing a prank and it went all the way wrong? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye!